Why do you hate your life? Life can seem pretty hectic. Work, family, kids, and budget, balancing it all gets too much at times, and we feel like we're at our rope's end. We feel hopeless, isolated, and afraid. When all that negative energy combines, it can lead us to the sensation that you hate your life. While it may seem like you're in a rut and you'll never escape, there is a way out. It takes a bit of soul searching and recognizing you're not happy. Then, after coming to terms with the fact that something is wrong, you can take actionable steps to correct it. Get to the root of your unhappiness. We mentioned above that the first step is to admit that you're not happy. Once you recognize this, you become one step closer to reversing this state of mind so you can find joy and fulfillment in life once again. But sometimes, it's easier said than done. Change doesn't come quickly, nor is it easy. It requires hard work, dedication, and a level of self-awareness that many of us just don't have time for. Or to be more specific, we don't make ourselves a priority. So, we just keep feeling unhappy. But then, this unhappiness filters into every part of our lives, making us hate everything about it. After all, it becomes this sense of feeling like you have this weight that's crushing you. As a result, you feel miserable, stuck, and unmotivated. The good news is that there's a silver lining. Of course, there's always hope that things can turn around for the better. But you have to be willing to put in the work. For example, if you detest going to work every day, you hate it so much that it takes every ounce of energy in your body to get out of bed, then it's time to look for a new job. If you're in a relationship where you feel tired and humdrum rather than enjoying yourself and your partner, then leave. Remember, you control your life's choices. You just need to remind yourself how strong, worthy, and capable you truly are. We do have to point out that there will be times in your life when you can't take drastic measures to change your circumstances. That's okay, too. You just tell yourself that it won't always feel this hopeless. But the silver lining is that one of the constants in life is change, so keep your head held high and always have hope that things will take a turn for the better. Create a life that reflects your goals. One reason we're unhappy is that we've strayed from our core values and the goals we set up for ourselves. Even if you never said your goals out loud or wrote them down in a diary, they're stored deep in your mind. Then, when the life we're living isn't getting us anywhere near these goals, we feel anxious and on edge. But, many times, we don't connect the two things. So, we keep muddling through, making us more anxious and driving us even farther away from our goals and values. Family, friends, and society are other factors that drives a wedge between us and our authentic selves. They all have their own opinion of how we should live our lives, and they're not afraid to tell us. Repeatedly. Many times it's just easier to follow along. After all, they know us better than ourselves, so who are we to doubt them? But the reality is when you carry out another person's idea of how you should live, it ultimately backfires because you're not following your true path. Be kind to yourself. Your inner thoughts are primarily based on childhood experiences and past influences. Oftentimes, they can be our own worst enemy. Yet, they're just thoughts, right? Unfortunately, it's not that simple. These thoughts can drive you to hate your life by repeatedly telling you you're not capable of progress or won't make it because you're not good enough. The truth is our thought patterns shape our reality. The sooner you realize that the better, because then, you can start to gain some control of this negative self-talk. Start by showing yourself more empathy and compassion. You're probably great at helping others in their time of need. So why not do the same thing for yourself as well? There's so much empowerment and self-love that comes with being kind to yourself. For starters, you'll stop hating your life. Then, you'll start seeing the good things instead of constantly mulling over the bad. So, the next time your inner critic voice starts to say something, focus on something positive that happened to you that day. Over time, you'll find it easier to overcome the thoughts that undermine your worth and sabotage your achievements. A final note: if you're dissatisfied with how your life is turning out, start by finding out why you're feeling this way. Once you put your finger on the why, it's time to focus on changing your thought patterns from the toxic to the optimistic and productive. Assess what needs to change and start making plans. Once you find the path that leads to your true self, keep at it. Change doesn't happen overnight, but if you remain resilient and work hard towards your goals, you can achieve much more than you thought possible.
Wow.